We are going to dive into another teammates class, and this setup is a little different and another option for how you can do your intervention days. So he starts off with a fluency drill, but instead of doing a normal fluency drill through like the sprints or some other kind of way, he does an engage in bingo lesson where he includes integer operations that have been tripping up his students. So here you're going to see him jumping into integer operations, and then we'll go into what his stations will look like. So let's take a look at his fluency drills with integer operations.
That's a good one. 12 times 5.2. Oh yeah. That's how we all gonna get 3 times 3? No. 5.2. 5.2
Yeah.
So here he has the students, he gives them a problem, and it's aligned to some things that they have been struggling with, and they have to solve the problem before they can do the bingo. So we're going to also jump a little ahead to see a student that actually wins the game, and then we'll dive into his actual station works.
Okay.
6. 1.6.
Wait, you just want the line, right?
Oh, just
The one line? You don't want all her right answers, right?
Just the bingo.
Just the bingo. So only give him the bingo number.
63.6. 62.
Oh, no. 63.6. 14. Okay.
62.4.
Okay.
1.6.
And 15.4. Okay. We got a winner.
Why y'all mad?
So the students were excited. He played another round of that, and we're going to jump past that and we're going to go into his groups. So William's groups are a little different. He does 2 groups, one in digital station and one where they're doing peer collaboration. In the digital station, the students are supposed to be working single silent. However, he has quite a few students that have already mastered pretty much everything. They're on mastery level. So my push for him was to have them to jump on Think Through Math and go on the 7th grade track, which is what some of them are already on. The other station is peer collaboration. They're allowed to work in their groups. And then he does some small groups towards the end to clarify things. So we're going to look at those and how they're working. And remember, this is his first day trying it a different way. At first, he had the students move, but here he's going to have the stations move and limit his transitions. He has a class of about 36 to 39 students on average. So he wants to try to figure out a way to maximize time, and having them move was taking time for him in his first iteration. So let's look at the next one.
The last test that we took, we're working on questions that we mastered already. I want to take hard.
So you got all of those correct? So now that you got all of these correct, what are you focusing on?
I'm working on the ones that I already mastered.
Because you've already remastered the ones you didn't get correct. Okay. What are you trying to work on?
So, my people who have fluency in front of that. You have 5 minutes. Go. Anybody want it?
So I'm going to pause for a second to explain a couple things. There was one student that had remastered pretty much everything in the digital station, or had mastered in her first attempt in the interim assessment. So later on, I pushed to the teacher to have her work on a higher track on Think Through Math, which she could jump on her 7th grade track and get some experience at a higher grade level to get challenged. Here in this station, this is the peer collaboration. They jumpstart this station as well with another integer fluency operations. And then they have student leaders that will check the stations at the end of the time that they are given. So we're going to jump back into both stations and see a little bit of what's happening, but just giving you some context about what's happening right now. So after they did the fluency drill, they were given an opportunity to work with their peers on a front and back side, aligned, TEK aligned to the lowest TEKs from the interim assessment data that the teachers had a chance to develop in their January 25th meeting in collaborating with Liberation. So here you see them working together and on that sheet, and then Mr. Williams at a later time will circle back with them to support.
If you do that, you're gonna see that, and you're not gonna see that as an answer choice. And you're gonna do what all y'all do is just pick something a little bit.
Ma'am, did you talk to your mom about?
Another thing to note is there's 2 stations that's happening at the same time. Ms. Bryan is in the corner. It's kind of hard to see, but she's literally just walking around, clipboard in hand, with the answers to make sure that students aren't just writing anything down and that they are at least aligned with the answers. And when they don't have the correct answers, she's stopping them, or she's pulling in Williams to provide support if it's more in-depth knowledge, because she's the TA. And some things she may or may not know as it results to math. The push that I had in this situation is great. The students are working. They're working with one another. Is that on the digital station, just making sure that there's check-ins with them as well, because there were some students that were off task at times. So just making sure that we go back, we check on them, we see that they're progressing, and that we let them know that we're checking on their progression. And there should be some type of exit ticket or some tracker or something that they fulfill to let us know that they have completed something, maybe a 1-question task or something that they have to show. So this is things that we're still working on, but overall, this was a great first rollout for a second time around, because they changed a little things from the initial rollout. Another thing too is, if you notice, even at the non-digital stations, the computers are already there and ready. This is speaking to the fact that we try to minimize transitions. So we'll see that they're going to transition to their next station without moving. So the papers will go up, the computers will come out, and the other stations will become now the peer collaboration stations. Also, before that transition, we have here Williams doing a small group before they transition. So there's a lot of things that's going on, and as we continue to create this space and develop it and plan for it, we'll see that there might be changes in the future as well.
So, my people at the station, I need you to neatly put your papers and with your name on it in a pile at your table. People on computers, log off. Stack your computers. This needs to be done in 30.
So we see that he's about to transition, and now everybody who was doing a station in digital will now go to the peer collaboration, as I said early, and peer collaboration will now become digital. So a couple things that we learned from this experience was one, the the engagement of the integer fluency was awesome. The students loved it, and it didn't seem like work. A lot of them wanted to win bingo, and they were more focused on that than actually realizing that they were learning. And number two, I really enjoyed that when I went to the digital station, the students could articulate what they were working on and why. The push that I had for the teacher was if a student has already mastered everything, let's go ahead and push them to something else, because technically they're ready. They need to be challenged now. So that could also eliminate and help with the behaviors in those stations if we push them to move forward. Also, with the peer collaboration, um, we have the teacher or the TA that's going around and checking for accuracy, but seeing how Williams can be intentional around checking in with his SPED left and his special population students that tend to need more support around even just jump starting or collaborating with their peers. So just making sure and holding that bar of excellence with what collaboration look like. And of course, giving them the answer key so that if you're not able to get to them, they're able to still access and determine whether or not they learn. Last but not least, there should be an assessment. So one thing we wanted to push on was, how do we know that the learning is actually happening? Well, that comes from us actually pulling the data from what students should be able to know and show based on the decomposition of the TEAC, the focus that is geared with including the misconceptions, and what we're targeting for based on what the data has already told us, which is why we created these stations. So just making sure that we have that assessment piece, because I didn't see that happening in these particular rounds. So kudos to Mr. Williams for being brave, taking this huge, gigantic step to differentiating the learning and creating a space where students can be engaged. My hats off to Williams and Bryant. We're going to keep making it stronger. And please check out your teammates. Come down. If you have any advice or any tweaks that you would like to suggest, please share that with your team.